Three, two, one. Shaman Omar here. Alcohol, the genie, Aladdin's lamp, and evil spirits. What do they have in common? Let's begin. So the word alcohol originates from the Arabic word al-kul, which means, in its original state, a flesh-eating spirit. You see, when you go to the store may have a different name, but it always says wine and spirits. Because if you drink enough of the al-kul, then the next day, and this may have happened to you or perhaps someone you know, but someone gets so drunk that the next day they don't remember anything. You tell them, do you know what you did last night? And as you're telling them, they have no idea and they can't believe what you're telling them. The problem is that in one way, they didn't do it because they were possessed. But in another way, it's their fault. Why? Because the word karma means action, and free will is one of our greatest gifts. So they allowed the flesh-eating spirit to come in deep enough within the temple to take full possession of the body, right? That's why alcohol is bad, because you allow the spirits inside of your temple. There's another Arabic word, and there's another form of alcohol. It's called jinn. See, the Arabic word jinn is spelled D-J-I-N-N. Generally, it's a spirit of smoke or fire, right? And the jinn, in its translation to English, actually means genie. So when we know the story, of course, of the genie of Aladdin's lamp in the movie and the shows Aladdin, and then there's older book of that with the same exact tale. The difference is, over time, the cautionary tale that was told for thousands of years in the Bedouin tribes in the deserts of Arabia turned into this interesting, colorful picture, which I tend to love and enjoy. Who doesn't get along with, as soon as we hear the genie sing the song and tell Aladdin all the special things that's going to happen? It gets stuck in your head. But that's for another video. In this video, we're going to explain the genie, what it really is. You see, the original story of the jinn is that when a person, let's call him Aladdin, he's roaming through the deserts. Now think of this both in a physical form and think of it in a metaphysical, spiritual aspect. The desert can symbolize being alone or lost in life. Lost, for example, going on a journey without knowing which direction you're going in life. Not just in the form of what you're going to do with your life, but let's say spiritually, right? Perhaps going nowhere spiritually is also going in the wrong direction. And so Aladdin is going through the desert. Eventually he drinks all of his water because he doesn't realize that he's going to get lost. And so as he keeps moving through the desert, he's getting more and more tired and less water. Eventually he runs out. Eventually he starts getting so delirious, he starts looking up and he sees off in the distance a vast lake. I'm saved. So he picks up the pace, heads towards the lake. But he never gets to reach the lake. He looks to the east. Wow, another lake. I better get there fast. So he hurries up double time to get to that lake. Eventually he realizes, why is that lake not getting any closer? So then what does he do? He looks to the west. Behold, there's another lake. Eventually, and by the way, something that appears to be real that's not, especially in the desert, that's called a mirage. In Sanskrit, the word is maya. It's called an illusion, right? And we'll get to that with the genie in a moment. And so eventually, this boy Aladdin, he becomes tired. Eventually, he runs out of energy. And eventually, he falls down. But as he falls down, he stumbles upon a lamp, kicks it over, and appears the genie. In this case, the genie of blue smoke. Hello, sire. What would you like? Would you like a mountain of gold? Would you like a kingdom? Perhaps you would like 151 wives. Now see, what Aladdin really would like is probably water. What Aladdin really needs is probably a way out of the desert. But as soon as the genie presents him with his wildest dreams, he forgets about his mortal needs. And he says, did you say 151 wives? Did you say a castle of gold? Yes, I am the great genie. I can bestow anything your heart desires. right? But is it what your heart desires? Can the genie, or any spirits actually give you what your heart desires? The answer is no. You see, the genie, being a being of smoke or fire, in essence a spirit, it operates within the third and the fourth dimension. So because we have to remember that light itself is matter. Light in and of itself is particles are atoms, and atoms are what makes up the entire universe, right? So fundamentally, it's still part of the physical universe, right? Even molecularly, right? But if you ask the genie, the spirit, genie, yes, sire, can you fill me with love in my heart? Genie can't do that. Genie, can you grant me peace in my mind? Of course not. See, the genie can only manipulate, being a being of smoke and fire, it can only manipulate the fabric of reality, like a spider web, and can present the appearance of things like a mirage through the smoke of its body for you to see in its physical form. See, the problem is that the only thing we have is our soul. And thus, the only thing the genie is looking for is for us to exchange our soul for the illusion of that which appears to exist, but eternally doesn't. Thus, the mirage in the third dimension, whether it's a kingdom, being the CEO of Tesla, or having 151 wives, none of that leaves with you. Only our deeds, both good and bad, and only the love and the emotions that we have created upon this earth, given to others and received within ourselves. This is what's real. The soul is ultimately perfect. Once we get deep enough, and we can dig deep enough past all the old traumas, memories, ancient DNA, all the ancestral karma and all that stuff, you will find inevitably, if not in this lifetime when we transcend, that the soul in fact was perfect and everything else was in fact a mirage, an illusion. And so when we decide to speak, we have to understand abracadabra. What I speak, I create. We have to also understand that when we try to give up part of our soul in any form for the illusion of material, we're giving up our soul for the appearance of the kingdom. Would you like your second wish? Why do they always make the second wish so fast, by the way? If you just went from nothing to having a kingdom, wouldn't you marinate on that for at least a week, before making the second wish? But somehow the genie always finds a way to make people make the second wish. I mean, the movie's not even an hour and a half long, and by the third, he's ready to make the third wish in an hour and 15 minutes. But we'll leave that alone. The interesting part about the story is that for the illusion of the kingdom, you gave up your free will, right? And again, the word karma means action. And so then the second wish, you did it again. And the third wish, now you release the genie because you become the genie in the bottle. Now your existence is to appear as a jinn, to taunt and to inspire others to make the bad decisions, because it's the only way for you to escape, because you understand the value of free will as a genie, because you don't have it anymore. Rob the lamp, you appear. Get back in the lamp, you appear, right? In essence, you are a slave. And so when the person makes the third wish, the Aladdin, replaces the genie in the bottle. The genie is now free, off to its next with a valuable lesson learned. Better to learn the lesson now. Stay away from the alcohol. Don't allow the flesh-eating spirit to take control of your body or mind. Protect your temple. Watch what you say. And you can still enjoy the movie as long as you understand the fundamental aspects of what I speak of. And in another video, we'll go deeper down that rabbit hole. Aho.